It is hot out here today, folks. Oh man, I'm out here on my home lake just doing a little idling around looking for some new brush piles. I've always been too lazy to actually put out my own brush piles, so I let everybody else do the work. Then I take my Garmins and go find everybody else's brush piles. So I'm just putting in a little work out here, getting some brush piles found, and hopefully in the next couple videos you guys will be able to see some of the baits I like to use to catch deep summertime fish, especially spotted bass fishery. Really this works on any kind of bass there is, but how I like to target those deeper summertime bass. You want to see that? Let me know. So if catching fish deep doesn't really interest you, just let me know. Like, you gotta let me know in the comment section. But if you want to see that kind of video, let me know in the comment section, right? Found a couple. See this fish right here, fish right here. You can see them over here on the side scan. Those shadows right there, uh-oh, sorry. Those shadows, that's a little group of fish right there. That's what they look like if you ever wondered. Oh, that's actually a pretty big school of fish. You see them here, you see them there. Nah, that's not them right there, but that's definitely a group of fish right here on the side scan. Hey, so if you guys have watched my channel any length of time, you know that I really have grown to love Mystery Tackle Box, and they've been somebody that's supported this channel for a very long time. So today's video is sponsored by Mystery Tackle Box. Now, if you're not familiar with it, Mystery Tackle Box is a subscription-based company, and basically what they do is send you tackle every month. You sign up, you pay a small fee, and they send you a box of fishing tackle every month. I found about baits and companies and hard baits and soft plastics that I never knew about. I found out about them when I started getting Mystery Tackle Box. So check it out. I have a link in the description box. You'll get your first box for like 10 bucks if you sign up. First box, new customers only. But yeah, Mystery Tackle Box. This is it right here. Mystery. I guess it won't be a mystery if you sign up this month. You already know what you're going to get in this box, but next month will be a mystery. So it'll be like a Mystery Tackle Box if you sign up for next month. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, let's go. Little impromptu video here today. I didn't even really expect to get out here and do much fishing. I actually just kind of came out here to dial in my grass, my units on my boat. Honestly, I haven't really done much with my units as far as fishing deep this year because, you know, primarily we had such a prolonged spring that I stayed on the bank just fishing at visual structure for so long that really all I used was my mapping. And so now fish are kind of starting to finally get offshore, and I'm starting to try to like find some of these fish that are in 20 to 40 foot of water. And it's really been the first time I've tried that all year. So I'm kind of having to re-gear my boat, re-gear my units, and really kind of learning how the sonar works on these new graphs. If you guys that don't know, I just switched to Garmin units this year. So I haven't always used Garmin before. So I'm you know, it's a learning curve. Anytime you use something new, no matter how good it is, there's a little bit of a learning curve. So that's kind of what I'm going through right now. And I've even kind of reorganized my boat. Pretty much went through my entire boat and re-engineered the way I've stored everything in here. I'll do that a little bit later. But I've marked probably a dozen or so, maybe more, a dozen or so new brush piles that I haven't fished before or didn't know about. And I'm going to spend a couple hours going back and try to fish them now. So I'm tying up my drop shot, which is pretty much what I'm going to fish, I'm pretty sure, around this whole deal. Now, I saw some fish over here on this last pile that could possibly bite like a small swim bait or something like that. But usually in the summertime, once we get late like this, I almost always fish just a drop shot, because you get over those brush piles and you can be so precise with the drop shot, where with a anytime you're casting something, you're guessing a little bit. And when you take that drop shot, you're 100% like you're fishing very precise. You're dropping right where you want the bait to be. You're dropping right on top of the brush, right where the fish is. Where with the swim bait, I'm casting it out, blind casting it, and I'm hoping that I'm gonna bring that bait through a school of fish. So it's super hot out here today. One thing I learned early on, when it's super hot like it is today, it's probably 97, 98 degrees. Heat index, I'm sure over 100, well over 100. I hear a lot of people say, well, God, I can always take off more clothes in the summertime. That's why I like the wintertime. I can always put on more clothes. Nothing can be further from the truth. When it's hot and sunny like this, bluebird skies, there's not a cloud in the sky, there's no shade when you're on a bass boat whatsoever. You're just exposed, right? Well, it makes no sense to think that taking your clothes off and go shirtless is gonna keep you any cooler. All you're doing is exposing yourself to heat and the sun and the rays. It's just gonna beat down on you. So the best thing for you to do, especially on a day like today where it was just no wind, hardly anything, is cover up as much as possible. That doesn't mean go get a cotton hoodie and put it on. What I got on here, this is the Gills Charter hoodie. It's real lightweight. I always say this, just Charter hoodie, if they made a shirt, like if panties was a shirt, it would be this hoodie right here. This is the Gills Charter hoodie. It's really soft, it's breathable. It's got a hood on it. It's like the only shirt that I fish out of because I like being able to put that hood up and over my face for a couple reasons. For me, it keeps the sun off of my neck and my face. You see I still wear a buff too. Other thing it does is you can see like I can really make this thing tuck in and around my face, and it's almost looking like out a window in your house. You know how I can look out of a house window but you can't look in a house window really good? That's what it's like with this. When you pull a hood in around your house, you can actually see a little bit better too, because you're making it darker around your face, which allows you to see the little dark spots in the water stumps. It actually does really help a lot. So I just prefer to wear this Charter hoodie pretty much season, all year. I always wear a buff, tuck it in and around my mouth. Ain't got nothing to do with COVID. Just keeps all the sun off my face, man, and it feels cooler. I also wear long pants. You see, this is you see, I just wear long pants, some lighter material, and I got sandals on today. But honestly, I'm honestly not really fishing that much today, really hardly at all. I fish one spot. But if I'm really fishing a long day of fishing when it's over 100 like how it's been here recently, I don't wear sandals. I like to keep my feet covered too, because all you're doing, anything that you allow sun to hit is going to burn, it's going to feel hotter, and you're just going to feel yuckier at the end of the day. The way to protect yourself in the sun is to cover up. And a lot of people don't believe that. They say taking clothes off. That's just the polar opposite. Just to prove it to you, if you park your car in the garage on a 100-degree day, it's pretty cool, isn't it? It's covered. That's your hood. If you park it out in the middle of a parking lot at Walmart in the broad sunshine with nothing covering it, it's like a freaking oven. So that just goes to prove your case. Cover up, wear something thin and light. The more you keep the sun off of your skin and body, the better off you're gonna be. I'm out here idling around, looking at my graphs here. I've got them color coded. So basically, most of the brush piles that I'm looking for are in like 20 to 25 foot of water. So basically, I just idle up to any of these high percentage areas, islands, points, and I put my boat right where the purple or magenta turns to blue, because I think the blue is like 20 to 25, and then the magenta is like 25 to 30. Anything in that depth range seems to be the sweet spot. And then I'm just running clear view and let's see. Then over here on my second graph, I'm just running clear view and side view on the side scan, side view, clear view down, and just looking for brush. I'll mark me a few brush piles, and then I'll come back and fish them a little later on. That's all I'm doing, just spend a lot of time out here doing this. drop shot. You guys hadn't seen me tie a drop shot before. I'll move the camera here closer so you can see exactly how I tie my drop shot up. I'm using 6-pound tests out here today, and my connection knot is an Alberto knot. That's what I'm using to connect my fluorocarbon to my braid. You guys that don't know how to tie that, maybe I'll leave a link. I'm sure if you watch my channel at any point in time, you've seen that I've used this Alberto knot quite a bit. 6-pound test Strike King Pro Grade fluorocarbon. I'll show you exactly what my favorite drop shot bait is, especially for the summer. It's a little minnow style bait. It's really short, compact. Now that I got my Alberto knot, a lot of people ask how do I gauge how much leader I put on there. All I do is just take my line by the knot, stretch my arms one time, then I do it one more half. And that's it. That's my leader length right there. Then I take a number 2. That's a number 2 owner mosquito hook. All right. Tie him on to my 6-pound test leader line with the Alberto knot. I'll tie him on here. Not an Alberto knot, I'm sorry, with a Palomar knot. Palomar knot lets the hook stand out just like it's supposed to. You use your tag end to tie your sinker onto. So for leader length between my hook and my sinker is usually something like 14 inches, 14, 16 inches most of the time. And honestly, I end up using about the same size sinker regardless if I'm the same size leader length, whether I am casting it or dropping it vertically like what we're probably going to be doing today. When I tie my Palomar knot, the secret to making that hook stand out like that is when I tie my Palomar knot, I take my line and run it back down through the guide, the line tie, and then I'll use just a regular 3/16 ounce lead sinker. It's not a tungsten or anything. You can use tungsten, that's fine. But I use a lead sinker. I actually tie this guy on so the fish doesn't shake it off. To be completely honest with you, it's probably best to just use it as a little clasp like it's designed, but you just lose too many sinkers that way. So do that. Then I take, this is my bait here, Z-Man Streaks 375. You can find that on my website, shopblat.com. I think it's in my finesse kit, if I'm not mistaken. It's in one of my kits. I use this as a Ned Mickey, and I use it on the drop shot. Use that guy right there, and I'm just gonna nose hook him. Take the point of your hook right here. Okay, I'm just gonna take it and just skin hook it right in the nose, just like that. Not sure if that's gonna focus or not. You see, that's it. That's all I'm gonna do to tie that guy up. I see a brush pile or something I want. All I do is pause my graph, pause the screen, put the cursor over the top of it. So that was a little brush pile right there. And I'll hit the waypoint right there, and then it'll mark it. It actually marks it on my graph, on my map. You see the waypoint right there. So you heard me mention, this time of the year, I pretty much, a drop shot. There's really like 3 or 4 baits that I'm going to fish predominantly this time of year, and we finally got to that period of year where you start to catch fish offshore a little deeper. So I finally got a chance to kind of pretty much reconstruct my boat, and that's what I'm going to show you now. I pretty much took my tackle storage, my tackle locker out of my boat, and just did a complete overhaul. Like, it doesn't look anything like it's supposed to. What I did is I pretty much took the tackle locker in my boat and completely overhauled the entire thing. I just kind of wasn't really happy with the way I was storing a lot of my baits and just the ease of getting things and keeping stuff organized. So I decided to just pretty much I took out all of the guts of my tackle locker and my Falcon, just took out everything and made it my own pretty much. So here it is, my new overhaul tackle storage system. Ready? Here it goes right here. This is it. All right. A lot different than the way it came on the boat. I pretty much took out, I took the guts, like the boat comes with a lot of dividers inside here, and I took all of that stuff out and just started completely over. And I've got pretty much everything in Plano, the new Plano edge boxes. You can see how I got my frogs right here. I got my frogs in the new crankbait organizers, and I've just got it to where here's some of the other stuff here. This is where I keep all my top orders. We use a lot of top orders this time of year. That's where all my top orders are, and the big crankbait organizers. And then my shallower diving crankbaits, I have them in the deep diving crankbait organizers as well, and they're over here. These are all the ones that I always use. So like the reason I did it this way is because what I did is I found myself having like pounds and pounds of tackle of stuff that I don't really use, and I'm carrying it around all the time no matter where I go. And I don't care what kind of boat you have or what kind of tackle storage system you have, at some point you're gonna get some water in your tackle locker. And I got really tired because what happens is it rains and you open your tackle locker and you're getting stuff like, or you open a tackle box while it's raining, or you know, just water sets in your boat for a week and you didn't even know it, and now you got water in your stuff, so it ruins a lot of stuff. I got really irritated with that. Other thing I got really irritated is having to sift through a bunch of stuff that I don't use or very rarely use just to get to that one bait that I really use. So the only way I could figure out to have everything accessible, quick and easy, like what I really need, is just to gut my tackle locker. I took all the dividers out. I wish I would have brought you guys along with the process, but what happened is I found myself getting so into making this work right that I didn't really have time to film. Like I found myself so diving so deep into making sure everything was just like I want to. I spent 3 days on this. I spent 3 days on turning this into what you see right here. Now I'll explain to you how I did it. All Plano edge boxes in here. There's a few of other boxes in here, just traditional Plano boxes that I have a few baits in here too. But I've gotten to the point where I pretty much know what baits I'm going to use, why, when, how, whatever the scenario is. And I want to have that stuff right here, easy to get. With the big plastic organizers, these are really big, right? These are really big organizers. And what I did is I put all the plastics that I need, like this one right here is all like swim baits, trailers for my chatter baits, all boot tail swim baits. I use a lot of those. These are razor shads in here for chatter baits. And so like I got all of that stuff in one box. This is a heavily used deal that I use. Swim baits, paddle tail swim baits for, you know, standalone swim baits, chatterbait trailers. I use a lot of that stuff, so I got one box totally dedicated to that. And I like this better than, for some reason I just could not get used to the bags. The bags are great, but they also let your plastics get wet. What I like about the Plano Edge is this box is waterproof, so I don't ever have to worry about this getting wet. Same thing. Then I did another box over here. This is all my Ned baits over here. All Neds, small finesse baits. All of my smaller plastics are in this box right here. Stays dry, don't have any problems with it, and I like it. I just like the way it's organized in there. Then what I did in the middle, you see I've got some original boxes. These are my non-Z-Man plastics is what I'll put in here. There is a few baits that I still use that are not Z-Man, and I keep those in the center right here. All plastics that you know, these little one-off plastics that I use in pretty heavy rotation that can't be in or around Elastec. And then I've got my terminal boxes. I've got 2 terminal boxes. This is like a drop shot, and my hooks, stuff for Texas rigs. I've got one Plano, this is a Plano terminal box, the 3600, that is just completely dedicated to Ned rig heads, shaky heads, and Nico weights. Everything in here is for Nico and Ned rig heads, which is 2 techniques I use a lot. So that's my Nico Ned box, you know, just one box, totally dedicated to that. drop shot and Texas rig, and you see one thing about the Plano boxes is you can write it across the top what it is. Then I've got my chatterbait box, which is just a box that's totally dedicated to chatterbaits and is specifically designed for chatterbaits in here. So I've got all of those. You know how I am. I use 3 colors primarily, and just that one orange because everybody likes the orange one now. Whites, browns, greens, and black and blue. Pretty much what I have. And then I switch my trailers around to get whatever else I need out of my chatterbait colors. Okay, so there's my chatterbait box. Stick him back in there. And then this is just another box of one-off plastics that I like to keep. This is my spinnerbait box right here. Another box of one-off plastics that, you know, just like non-Z-Man stuff. The thing that I think people get the most excited about is what I did with my top water box. Now, I can't actually take this out of here. Well, I can, but I'm not going to. So in my opinion, the big deep diving crankbait organizer is the best organizer for everything. Like of course it's great for deep diving crankbaits, but great for top waters like what you see here. All of my big walking style top waters, I put that in my big crankbait organizer and just stuck it right here in the corner. Velcro won't move around. It holds my jerk baits. I've got jerk baits over there. I've got big crankbaits, whopper ploppers. You can see a couple blade baits or prop baits. And then I did the same thing with my small crankbaits, my square bills, MR6s, etc. I put those over here in the deep diving crankbait organizer. The reason I did it that way is the deep diving crankbait organizer box is a little big and clunky, but I love that storage system for a couple reasons. It keeps your baits dry. They're easy to access. I don't have to climb and open a box and wonder which one. I can see what bait is in there, and I can just pluck it out real easy. So the colors and the ones that I use the most, I got probably 2,000 crankbaits at home, and there's really only about 5 that I throw, and they're in there in the three colors that I really like to use. And they're Velcro down to the bottom. You can get that Velcro at any kind of home improvement store. Put it on the bottom of that and stick it down to the bottom of the boat. It doesn't come off the bottom of the boat. And the other thing about it is keeps your baits dry, easy to access, and it kind of bulks down a really awesome storage compartment. I didn't show you, I have 3 terminal boxes, maybe 4. This terminal boxes right here is just nothing but like swim bait jig heads and also keel weighted hooks. You notice I put those on top because it's easily just to slide one here or one there to get in one box. So if I need to get in this box over here, all I do is just slide this one over and that'll stay there. I've been riding out here. This is actually a Sunday evening. This boat traffic everywhere, and this is what the tackle locker looked like when I opened the lid. And the one that interests people the most is the way I keep my frogs. This is the small crankbait organizer right here, right? And honestly, I'm probably going to change that to the deep diving crankbait organizer because these frogs do come out of this one a little bit. Now I've got every frog of every color, every style that I actually really use to tie on right there, easy and accessible. And they just plunk in. One thing I did notice, in rough water they will pop out of this one, so that's why I'm going to use another one just like what I got the top waters and my crankbaits in. I'm going to use it just like this, but the deep diving crankbait, and set it right here on top of the boxes, and then I can just slide it around. So when I want to get into that box, all I do is just pull this around, pull it over here like that, and that stays there. It doesn't flop around. And then you see, like, this is like flipping baits in this soft plastic organizer, and I got some super glue, scissors, everything that I need to rig up soft plastics is in these boxes. So just a total overhaul of my compartment box. This is the Plano Edge spinnerbait box right here. Okay, that's what this is. It's supposed to be a spinnerbait box. Well, I took it and put line in it because line for me has always been really difficult to store in an efficient way. So I got these little spools, 200-yard spools of line, and that's what I put my Strike King fluorocarbon line in. I have 1, 2, 3, 9. I have 9 spools of line in this spinnerbait organizer. All I did was take out the actual dividers that were in the spinnerbait box and then stuck my line in there. Waterproof, You know, I don't have to worry about that stuff getting wet, and it's a good place to store everything else. But up here up front is where I got all the stuff that I don't really use that often. My life jackets, rain gear, there's more crankbaits, more top waters, everything that I'm probably never going to really have to use, or I hope I never have to use, is in that box right there.